as to how could she do such a thing. She always fixed my plate, but the problem was that I had took my plate being fixed for granted. Somebody missed it, but I'm going to show you something else. And I had thought that I had done something by merit to earn what was in front of me. I thought I had done something that desired me to have my plate. I was a good husband and I'm a good father. I thought that I deserved to have my plate on the table. So what happened was, I sat at the table and there was nothing there. And so, Pastor, I just asked one question. I said, you gonna fix my plate? You didn't say anything. But how many of you know that when you're married to someone long enough, that a look can say everything? She gave me one of them looks like, you must be out of your mind. That if you want something to eat, she looked at my empty spot and looked over at the stove where the food was at and saying, go and fix your own. Y'all got it? But that's what happens for some of us, that God blesses us and put it right in front of us, but we forget to tell God thank you, and one day what God has put in front of us has been taken away. That's what happens when you forget to give God glory for what he's done in your life. That's why when I wake up in the morning, guess what I do? I give God glory. I tell God, thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you for starting me on my way. Thank you for food on my table. Thank you for a job, because I want that to continue in my life. We got to learn how to give God the glory. We got to give God thanks, not for us. See, we learn how to thank God for all things. But the Bible said that in all things, we ought to give thanks unto the Lord. It is his glory and not ours. Watch this, watch this. So they had a responsibility with these talents. They were to go and to invest their talents wisely and to utilize it in order to get more talents. We got to move from a stage to being faithless and being faithful. We got to move from a stage of being without fruit to producing fruit. Are you still here? Can I tell you that what God has entrusted you with ain't no accident? Somebody think that what God has given me is an accident. Can I prove this? I told Macedonia this on Sunday, and I'm going to share it with you today. What would happen in here right now if you just slapped the person next to you as hard as you could and told them it was an accident? Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. If you hit the person next to you and told them it was an accident. All right, now let me do this. And then what happens if you slapped that person again as hard as you could and told them it was an accident again? Watch this. I'm going to prove to you that what God has done is not an accident. That when you slapped them the first time, you might get away with saying it was an accident. Let me put a footnote, but you better not do that, because you don't know what person that's sitting next to you went through this week. They might have had a bad, not a week, they might have had a bad month. And if you slap them, you never know what could happen, because everybody ain't on that level yet. But I want you to understand that what God does is not an accident. Why is that? Because you hit me the first time, I might buy into the fact that it's an accident. But if you hit me again in the same spot and say it was an accident, I know it's not an accident. How do you know it's not an accident? Because it occurred over and over. Y'all get it now. And over. So what God has done in your life is not an accident. Because if God did it yesterday and did it again, that wasn't an accident. He did it on purpose, for a purpose. So whatever God does in your life over and over again, it's a purpose that's designed to give him glory. Watch this. So here we go. We got those that received these talents. And the one with 5, he did the right thing. He went out and got 5 other talents. See, that's using what God is giving you to its fullest advantage. Is when you're not too into myself, that you'll go out and share it with somebody else. For everything that God has given us is for his glory. Can I let you know that spiritual gifts were not given for you, but it was given for the edification of the body. In other words, if God has blessed you with a spiritual gift, it is for you to work in his vineyard while it is there. The one that received 2, look at what he did. He went out and invested wisely and gained another 2. But watch this, watch this. Here is the one that received 1. All right, come on. He decided that one of the writers said that he was going to dig a hole and put it in a napkin and leave it there. Well, but sometimes it's just that way that some of us will have hidden talents. We'll take our talents and we'll hide them and think that God doesn't know what he's blessed us with. Are y'all going to pray with me? But I'm at my 3rd point now, and I want you to understand the first condition is what you have is not yours, it belongs to God. The second one is what you have is to be used for God's glory. But watch this. Thirdly, what you do with what you have determines what you get. Somebody missed that. Let me say it again. What you do with what you have determines what you get. Can I prove that today? All right, let me give you another example. That every now and then I would ask for the keys to my mother's vehicle when I was younger, and I didn't want to drive my smoky 78 Buick Regal when I wanted to impress a young lady. And so I would ask her if I could get the keys. And when she would give me the keys, I knew that in order for me to get it again, I would have to take care of what I had the first time. Are y'all still here? What you do with God, what God has given you will determine what you get. Now it's up to you what you do with it. Amen. Because every one of us have a responsibility. If you don't want to do anything with it, that's okay. It's your thing and do what you want to do. But if you want the blessings of God, you got to learn to use what God has blessed you with. Am I right about it? Notice here that the Lord came back. Well, here is the irony of the whole situation. That while the Lord was gone, they were required to work. Senior ministry, we got to work while it is day. But when he left with the expectancy of coming back. Can I tell you that what God has blessed you with, that one day he's coming back. And we all must give an account of what we've done with what God has blessed us with. And what will determine what you receive when he returns is what you do with what you got. Watch this. So the one with 5, he went out and gained 5 other talents. And I heard the Lord say to him, well done, thy good and faithful servant. He told him to come up and I will make you ruler over many. I see the one that had 2 talents when he was giving an account of his stewardship. He told him exactly the same thing. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. I'm going to make you a ruler over many. But watch this. Enclosed there is the praise and the promise. The praise is, well done, thy good and faithful servant. The promise is, come up, I'm going to make you a ruler over many. Is there anybody here that's working for a praise and a promise? Amen. I don't know about you, but that's what I'm working for. I'm working for a praise and a promise. I'm not working for money down here. Because I know that God's got more than money. For I heard the record say that what profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul. I want you to know that I'm working for the Lord. For I understand that when I work for the Lord, that I'm going to have some ups and some downs. But as long as I keep working for him, I know that he's going to pay off right now. I didn't say after a while, but serving the Lord is paying off for me right now. Because he's clothing me in my right mind right now. He's keeping me in perfect peace right now. He's allowing my heart to beat right now. Can I tell you what else he's doing right now? The Lord is protecting me from my enemies right now. That's why I serve the Lord. Because I know that I'm his, and whatever belongs to God, he is in control. Can I tell you, I'm not going to quit, but I'm going to keep on working. I'm not going to quit because I have determined that I'm going to run on and see what the end's going to be. I've come to an understanding that I've got to work while it is day, because after a while, working days will be over. And when he calls my name, I want to hear praise He's going to call me servant, which implies that I've done some work. And if you don't do any work, the Lord ain't going to lie and call you a servant. But if you want to be blessed and receive a praise and a promise, you got to work. You got to work while it is day. And don't quit. And don't give up. And don't give in. Who can I talk to here? Is there anybody over here that felt like giving up? I don't know what you went through on last week, but maybe you felt like giving up. But can I share something with you? That if you hold on, to God's unchanging hand, He will. He'll make everything all right. Maybe somebody over here been thinking about quitting. But can I tell you what'll happen? If you throw in the towel now, you'll cut short your reward. You'll cut short your blessing. Am I right about it? But can I tell you what His Word says? His Word says that if you're faithful unto death, He will. Whenever God says He will, that's a promise. He said, if you're faithful unto death, I will give you a crown of life. Can I go a little bit further? What do I get for being faithful? I get a crown of life. But not only a crown of life, but I heard that in heaven, there's more than one crown. There's a crown of incorruption. There's a crown of rejoicing. That if I get the crown of life, I can get the incorruptible crown. I can get the crown of rejoicing. But I'm going to work until it's time to retire. Can I tell you something? That one day I got to retire. But it's good to know that when you worked all your life, that there is something that's laid up. Something that's laid up. Something that's laid up for you in heaven. And when I retire, can I tell you where I'm going? I'm going to a gated community where the streets of pain would go. I'm going to a gated community. 3 gates in the east, 3 gates in the north, 3 gates in the south, and 3 gates in the west. I won't have to worry about money because my God shall supply all of my needs. But can I tell you how it all came about? Because I heard there was a benefactor. I heard that there was an heir. I heard that there was a man called Jesus. Anybody know who he is? And I heard that late one evening he picked up a cross. You know what he did with it? He worked while it was day. Are you still here? When they were beating on him, he was working. Because by his stripes we are healed. When he was talked about, he was working. He never said a mumbling word. But I heard that they put a cross on his shoulder and he worked. He worked. He walked all the way up the Via de Rosas to a hill called Calvary. And when he got there, guess what he did? He worked. Well, I heard him say, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me. Guess what he did while he was hanging there? He worked. So I heard him say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what he was doing. Guess what he did?